Yeah. So, hi, guys, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. This is Hemant Srinivas from the YouTube channel GoingVocal. So, today we are going to discuss about we have been discussing a lot of topics, interesting topics. So, the idea is basically to throw in light into some useful topics, which is useful to the listeners also. So today, what we are going to discuss is about the toxic work culture that is existing in the corporate world in India. So I would like to welcome our panel members, Vandana, then Anupam, and of course Suresh sir, all experts in their respective professional domains. And let me first take this opportunity to ask the first question to Vandana. So, what I would like to ask you is, today we find that there is a tremendous toxic or negativity in corporate. It was not like before. What I'm saying is the corporate culture that existed before, say, 85 or 90, and one that is existing after 90. There is a total difference. So, what is the reason for this one? The one before 90, I would say people used to enjoy and they used to retire peacefully, but now you find that it's basically fighting for survival. So, what in your view is, or what is the reason for this? I would like to pose the first question to you and ask you, I mean, request your
Oh,
views on
thank you.
this.
Thank you very much, Hemant, and thank you, Anupam and Mr. Suresh. Thanks for this. It's indeed a pleasure to be actually part of the discussion. And you rightly said, Hemant, like you mentioned even the time frame in terms of 80s and 90s. So there's one thing that comes to my mind is after the liberalization that happened in 1990, where you had multiple foreign investment that came in. I personally believe that that is what actually caused the shift in the outlook of people, right? So if you look before that time period, there were multiple companies, and people typically got into a job and they retired from that job. And again, there is a lot of role for information sharing also to play, right? So they only thought about, okay, you worked in the railways, I work as a teacher, you worked in the post office, I worked in a bank, and that there it ended. But today, because of social media and other things, where people are constantly in a race, so mentally they want to change, they want to do more, they want to be something else, they're aspiring, and that is constantly changing every minute, I would say. Although I believe change is required, change is inevitable, but again, people have today kind of lost that sense in the terms of where to draw the line, right? So if there's a company who's paying them a little more, they want to jump to that company. Where the culture as such is not given much importance. Only paychecks, the paychecks get fatter, and then you tend to go there. Or maybe even your role or your designation or your titles. But gone are those days when people said, I want to be part of this company. This is my company. So I don't think that kind of a sentiment exists anymore. So here it is only about the paychecks and the designations that keep changing probably every year for some of us. So that, and there is no time to actually take a pause, sit down, and even if there is any culture for the company, there is no time for us to even relate to it. And you are on the job from the time you just start, joining the company. It's like the next day you start performing. What are you bringing to the table, sort of a thing. So it's very competitive, I feel. And the next thing is about the social media and that need to change and grow and become something big in a very short span of time. So these are main reasons I feel, because of this fast-paced life, that we've lost that kind of a touch of that culture or those values, or that ownership of the company, I would say.
So what I understand from you is, or what I understand from you is that loyalty to the company, which was there,
Yes,
say maybe
yes.
one generation or two generations ago. That is no more the case. Everybody wants to maybe grow financially, and so it's just. I mean, there is no. They keep changing. I mean, this they keep changing. They want to grow, so they're contributing to the company. having a what do you say, roadmap for the company. That is not there. Rather, they are selfish and
Yeah.
so that's what I have understood from what you have said.
Yes, that's exactly what I feel. So they're not taking part in the company's growth as such. They're more driven towards their self growth and what the company can give them.
Okay, fine. So anyway, that's a good thought. So what I would like to ask Anupam is this negative culture that we are seeing today in corporate, is it because of the stress on results? Companies, from what I have understood, a lot of companies want results. They want quick and fast results. So is it because of that that down the line, down the hierarchical level, each person, say from the CEO to the junior most officer, is under pressure to deliver results, and because of this, maybe the human aspect is being ignored. So, what is your take on this, Anupam?
Thanks, Hemant. Thank you, Vandana, for your views. And hello, Mr. Suresh, as well. Hemant, a very valid question. And I think one of the reasons is this only because we have seen a lot of startup culture that has come up. Everyone is trying to build an organization. They are working for the profits. And of course, when you are working for a profit, you tend to overwork. And I think because of this overwork as well, you want to push your employees to do more. A lot of competitions are there. Every other company is trying to compete with each other and they want to get better than other. And this is one of the main reasons which we see employees are getting overworked, they are overstressed, and we have seen a lot of cases, suicidal cases also because of this overwork. Recent cases that we have seen in the last year with EY and similar other organizations. And these things will continue to happen unless we build a culture where uh, we draw a line where we say that no, we have to do work, we have to compete with each other, with other companies as well. But let's be honest, we are all humans. So let's bring a culture where you are working for the organization for your own career benefits along with maintaining a work life balance as well. And here comes the very important part of an organization, which is the HR. How HR are going to drive those policies, how they are going to make their employees feel good. And also the higher management has to understand that if you want your employees to work well, I think the most important thing you have to do is think about them, think about their work life balance. Enough leaves should be there, then they should be allowed to take leaves. I have seen that many organizations they have good leave policies, but when they ask for the leaves, they are not allowed to take because of the work pressures. And you see a lot of quarter on quarter, we see a lot of results getting displayed, and then when the company is not doing well, they try to be very stringent with their these policies. So I feel that that's a very valid point where we have seen that with competition within the organization is creating these kind of work pressure on the employees, and this is yes one of the reasons.
Yeah. So what I understood from you is there is work pressure. So I think companies should be more employee centric. I mean, we need to get the results, but there should be that kind of friendliness or what should I say, some positive atmosphere created. So HR, I think, plays a great role from what I have understood from your thoughts. Human
Yeah.
relations,
Yeah, human relations, yes.
if I understood correctly, right? No,
Right, Hemant,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes. So actually, yeah, please, Anupam, you wanted to say something.
No, yeah, that is what I'm trying to say that with HR and then again higher management, I think it should be a top-down approach. Not only the HR, the CEO and other CFOs that are there in the organization, they have to be they should be from the background of management, because I've seen that most of the things what are happening these days are the people who are very much technical, who have given a lot to the technical, they are being promoted to the higher senior management without any exposure to human relations. So that is what I feel that they should also be trained. They should go through a very good management practices, and then only they should be promoted. Or maybe even if they are promoted, they should be exposed to these kind of courses where they understand that how to build an organization with very work-life balance and with, like you said, the employee-centric approach.
I would just like to add to that, Hemant. See, if you actually imagine a company which was in probably in 80s or 70s, I would say, a person, when was he or she promoted to the next level? It was not basically based on their performance, essentially. It was about when you spend that amount of time in that particular level, then you mature to go to the next level to handle that kind of a role.
True.
But today, unfortunately, that's not true. So if you, everything like what Anupam mentioned is profit driven. So you meet the numbers, you show the numbers consistently for 2 cycles of your appraisals, you are automatically in the next level. But then the human aspect, like what you said. So there are certain things you don't really have to have a degree in human relations. You develop that, right? By working in that company or by working with your colleagues and coming across multiple situations, you tend to develop and mature to that kind of a role to handle the senior responsibilities. Today, that's not the case. You want to be a CEO at 32 years. So what have you seen? And that particular CEO, very impressive records in terms of their career and academics. They might have spent all their life in the office or in college or, in front of their computers. They would have entirely missed the human side of it. And they are going to be sitting as a leader of an organization at 32, 33 years. Naturally, that organization will lack that depth.
True.
And that is what I feel.
Correct.
That's what I feel about it.
That's a very interesting point, because if you take the military, I think Anupam will be more will be an expert. I mean, in armed forces, I think you have to rise based on your experience from the ranks. You have to come up. I think in military you cannot just, you want to become a commander just like that, you cannot become a commander in chief or something like that. You will have to go through the ranks, and then you have to prove yourself, and then. So I think what Vandana is, I think is I really appreciate, and I agree with her. It's a very good and valid point, Vandana. Thank you. So Suresh sir, actually I wanted to ask you, because you are very senior and you've got vast experience. So it's a very interesting question. So actually getting a perfect company for any job, person who is seeking a job, whether he's completed his graduation or MBA or engineering, getting a perfect company, I think practically is not, it's not practical, if you ask me. I mean, because you cannot keep searching for that most perfect company. You will not, even after going through interview, you may not be able to get the most unexpected things will happen. So what in your view should be the kind of attitude that a person who is applying, a candidate who is applying, what is the kind of life skills that he requires to face this toxic culture? I mean, it's a lot of unexpected things will definitely happen when a person joins, when a joinee joins a company. So what, in your opinion, are the right kind of skills required for a person joining a company to face this toxicity and move forward? Yes.
Okay, good evening, Rahul sir, Hemant sir, Vandana and Anupam. I am, as you said, I am a 62-year-old senior citizen. So I am elder among all of you. But the subject is very dear to me, because my son and daughter-in-law are working in IT MNC companies. So I have the opportunity to watch them working during midnights, early morning, because their projects are related to European countries or Far East countries. So the work culture is very, I can very well understand. And as you said, the question is very important nowadays, the toxic work culture in MNCs, corporates. Yes, sir, definitely you have to, those who are entering in an MNC or corporate should definitely bear in mind that tension, stress are everywhere in any sector, everywhere in the world, in any sector. Even if you start a pan shop or a tea shop, you have to keep in mind that there is tension and stress, even if you are the employer. Because if you want to start a tea shop, you have to find the capital, you have to avail the loan, then you have to market it, then only you can repay the loan. So naturally, tension arises even if you are an employer of a tea shop or a pan shop. So those who are entering corporate they should be ready to acquire the skill that you have to face such tension, stress in work. You have to tide over them. You have to face them, and you have to overcome those hurdles. I had worked in private sector and government sector, and there is a misbelief among people that in government sector everything is perfect and you need not face any tension. That is absolutely wrong. Take, for example, if you are working in a police department or revenue department, you need to work 24 hours in a day. And you have to hear all the abuses of your superiors, public, the MLA, MB, ministers. So the toxic work culture exists even in government department also. I had worked as a journalist in a private sector, print media. There was also huge work pressure, toxic work culture. The editors will abuse you, threaten you, and even abuse in front of people and other colleagues. So the toxic work culture exists not only in corporates, even in government sector, even in private sector, everywhere. When as I said earlier, I am 62-year-old. When I joined the print media, my monthly salary was 750 rupees per month. That means three-digit salary. Even then, although the gold price was very low, even for that amount, we could not buy even a bicycle for that 750 rupees. But look at the present pay package of an IT employee. He or she gets 5-digit salary. You can buy not only motorcycle, you can even buy even a Mercedes-Benz car. So even if you face any hardship, you get a better salary, better payment, better package. As you said, there is acute competition among employees and also employers, the MNC companies. So performance is the basis of your promotion or your higher salary in an IT sector or MNC. But in government sector, you may get automatic promotion and salary. But there is toxic work culture exists there also. So what I want to conclude is that those who are entering corporate world, they should bear in mind that there will be toxic work culture and you have to overcome those work culture. You have to face stress, strain, and hardship. So I want to add one suggestion also. Don't go for pay packages, even if the pay packages are very or less. You have to cross check, examine whether the work culture that you will get enough holidays, enough leisure, and public holidays. Then that will be better than a higher package job. That is what I advise to my son and daughter-in-law also.
So anyway, that's a nice series of thoughts that you have put. And as you said, yes, the candidate has to be prepared to face the most unexpected things that can happen. And I think you should be mentally equipped to deal with such challenges. And as you said, we need to evaluate job opportunities that he gets. You should not blindly step into something where it is only based on the salary, but you should consider all the factors, including the work culture, from what I have understood from what you have said. Yeah. So actually, question. Yeah. So one question actually to the open forum. Is it true that the lesser the salary means the lesser the toxicity? Is it true? I mean, I'm just
that we cannot fully agree.
I don't think so.
So
Ah.
I think, because
That I will
please.
explain with my own son's experience.
Yeah.
In the initial stage, he had worked in an IT company where 24/7 was the work
Okay.
culture, and salary was less. But after 1 year, he got a better opportunity. There he got holidays on Saturday and Sunday, and pay package was also higher. That depends on the company.
Right.
I also
So
think it depends on the industry because the pay packages are largely outlined by the industry that a
correct.
person is associated with. So
True.
there are some inherent risks that is associated with that particular industry type as well.
Yes. Yes.
So if you look at teaching versus probably a supply chain professional versus somebody who's in sales and someone is in IT, right? So the package disparity is huge. At the same time, if you look at it, the way they operate or the kind of stress they take is also
Yes.
different. I can imagine how much probably a software engineer will be going through, what kind of stress in terms of their implementing a project and things like that, their timelines and all, because largely these are all driven by the contracts which will have penalties and this and that on that. But if you look at a teacher, the kind of uh, remuneration that she gets versus the pressure she goes through in today's world and age. I'm not talking about few years back. Now, teachers are also highly technologically advanced. They have to put everything they teach onto some sort of a records and worksheets and things like that. So I think it's largely driven by the industry. But having said that, teaching is one industry where I would say that the the work they put in is not compensated the
True.
way it should be. At least in India, I
True.
feel
True.
that's
Yeah.
largely
Because
true.
even in teaching, from my own experience, I find that teaching is supposed to be the most noblest profession. But today, I find that teachers are also under stress because private schools,
Yes,
they have their own
yes,
target. They want their school to be number one in terms of top performance in 10th standard and plus two. So they are put through all kinds of pressure. And so there also, I found that very interesting. I mean, the job hopping is there. The teachers leave one school
yeah.
and go to the school. Yes, so it has become like a conflict.
I want to add.
Yes,
I want
please.
to add to this point that my wife is a CBSE school teacher, so I know the pressure
Okay,
she handles, because
right.
even the law, all the laws and acts are in favor of the students. So you cannot scold a student even if he or she misbehaves with other students or inside the class. So the
Right.
teacher had to remain mute spectator, because the laws are all in favor of the students. You cannot beat them, you cannot scold them, you cannot send them out of the class. So, and as you said, if the student gets a lower mark, the teacher is held responsible in private
True,
sector.
true, true. Understood. Understood. So I think today we have discussed a lot of, we have analyzed and reviewed of it a lot of interesting points as far as toxicity in corporate culture is concerned. So one is, of course, job hopping happening because employees are looking for salary. So they keep changing jobs. So they've gone are the days of loyalty to the company. Number one. Number two, I think candidates have to be prepared for the most unexpected things that they join a company. So they'll have to be mentally tough and they have to be philosophical also. Because they need to be practical. Because getting a perfect company is not going to be, it's not easy. And then, of course, there are so many other interesting points put in by Anupam about competition and the importance of human welfare or human relations. HR, the Department of HR is something which I think is very, very important. I think people are assets. So the companies need to really, because day by day, toxicity is increasing, and we have seen very recently that somebody, a girl of 25 years passed away. Uh, I mean, a male employee of 32 years passed away because of work pressure. This is unfortunate because we are all living here to be happy and to fulfill our potential. So anyway, thanks to all the panel members for participating in this discussion, and we wish to keep discussing various interesting topics in Going Vocal. So I look forward to the listeners to subscribe to this channel and give your open feedback. So thank you and have a
Thank
nice
you.
evening.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Hemant.
Thank you, Hemant.
Thanks,
Thank
Anupam.
you. Thanks,
Thank,
Vandana. Thank you, Mr.
thank you.
Suresh. Thank you.
Yeah.